An abrupt end to the stamp duty holiday could prompt a property market meltdown in 2021. That's according to campaigners who are warning Chancellor Rishi Sunak he needs to extend the stamp duty holiday past its current March deadline. In this video, we're talking about the impact of the stamp duty holiday finishing on the 31st of March 2021 and what might happen to the UK housing market if an extension isn't granted. Hi everyone, I'm Martin Bamford, and in this video I'm looking through a new article in The Telegraph today. I'll link to it in the description. And Melissa Lawford, the journalist, is sharing a warning about the consequences for the UK property market of the current stamp duty holiday coming to an end in March. According to this article, hundreds of thousands of property buyers could be worse off, and the stamp duty holiday ending could also bring an end to the current housing market boom, bringing it to a crashing halt in fact. There are some figures in this article from data company 20C who say that up to 325,000 property buyers could miss out on stamp duty savings of up to £15,000 each if the stamp duty holiday ends on schedule on the 31st of March. There are apparently some concerns that more than 100,000 property transactions could fail to complete, with the buyers pulling out of their deals if they cannot get their stamp duty break. If that happens, it would apparently hammer sales volumes, hurt the economy, and reduce house prices. In response to these fears, the Telegraph has launched a Stamp Out the Duty campaign. It's calling on HM Treasury to extend the stamp duty holiday so buyers are not penalised when it comes to an end in March. They point out that mortgage lenders are already demanding large deposits from buyers, and household finances have been battered by the economic repercussions of the pandemic. Quoted in the article, Chris Etherington, a partner at tax service provider RSM, said, "There is little logic in doing these measures and then pulling the rug out from under the feet of estate agents by having the cliff edge of a stamp duty holiday." Also quoted in the article, Phil Spencer, the well-known TV property expert, said, "There is a big tsunami of deals building up. If the Chancellor really does stop the stamp duty holiday, I just think chaos will ensue." He continued, "People will try and renegotiate up and down chains, and it only takes one person in the chain for 4 or 5 sales to fall through. The whole thing will come to a crashing halt, and deals will fall off the shelf left, right and centre." Looking down this article then, it references a forecast from property website Zoopla, which thinks that property transactions could fall by 20 to 30% between April and June this year, once that stamp duty holiday ends at the end of March. They also think that transaction volumes could be down 10% in the second half of the year. Why does all of this matter unless you're in the process of buying a property and you're worried about missing out on the stamp duty saving? Well, house prices create a feel-good factor for the economy. When we're happy and we're confident about the value of our home, consumer confidence levels rise and we're more likely to go out and spend our money. When the economy is open for business again after the pandemic, and I'm still predicting that won't happen until about June at the earliest, then tumbling property prices and depressed consumer confidence could be seriously bad news for the high street and also for the broader economy. Therefore, extending the stamp duty holiday until, say, the end of this year could help support the broader economic recovery we're all hoping for. Turning back to this article in The Telegraph, there's some more data from 20C who say there are now more than 536,000 agreed sales progressing to completion. That is nearly double the sales volume that was seen in the first 3 months of 2019, and apparently it's growing week on week. Realistically, having spoken to some local estate agents, I know that if you hadn't started the buying process before Christmas, it was always very unlikely that you would beat the end of March deadline for saving on the stamp duty. What is the stamp duty saving? I should probably explain that. Well, it depends on the value of the property you're buying. In England and Northern Ireland, the nil rate stamp duty band was extended from £125,000 to £500,000, and that resulted in around 90% of property transactions not having to pay any stamp duty at all. 20C saying in this article that in the first week of 2021, agreed sales were 16% higher than during the same week last year. That suggests to me that people are either trying to beat the stamp duty holiday deadline, or they've got some confidence that Chancellor Rishi Sunak will extend that stamp duty holiday past the end of March. There's a comment in the article from Beth Rudolph, great surname by the way, from the Conveyancing Association trade body, who said if they don't extend the deadline, hundreds of thousands of sales will fail to complete. The property market will literally drop off. Ms. Rudolph also explained there are logistical challenges in the property market due to the lockdown. One bottleneck right now is in property valuations, where leaseholds and dangerous cladding complications have increased the number of post-valuation queries. That slows the whole process down. She said the average transaction now takes 20 weeks to complete. Before the pandemic, it took an average of 12 weeks. Now, clearly, 20 weeks takes us well past the end of the stamp duty holiday as things stand. Another consequence of buyers pulling out of transactions is the impact it has for conveyancing businesses, as these sometimes work on a contingent basis, so no sell, no fee. Beth Rudolph says in the article, they won't get paid for work they have done. Of course, companies will go under, and it will be the same for estate agents. In response to all of this, we've got a comment in the article from a Treasury spokesman who said, the temporary stamp duty cut is helping to protect hundreds of thousands of jobs which rely on the property market by stimulating economic activity. Its time-limited nature is what has encouraged people to take advantage of the scheme. My best guess is that Rishi Sunak will extend the stamp duty holiday. You can't take that guess to the bank, it's only a prediction. But given the likely impact of consumer confidence from falling house prices, and of course the timing of that consumer confidence hit, and the knock-on impact for conveyancers and estate agents, I wouldn't be surprised if an extension is announced soon. Of course, as and when that happens, I'll bring you that news here, so make sure you press that little red subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you don't miss out. Do you share my optimism about a further stamp duty holiday extension? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching this video. Until next time, I'm Martin Bamford, and remember, when it comes to your money, the more you know, the faster it can grow.